Hello, this is Peter, and today we'll talk about the new Microsoft Agent Framework. So, on October 1st, there was a public blog post about a new agentic framework that replaces the existing AutoGen and semantic kernel frameworks. And so the blog post explains there's a video and then a table with all the features of semantic kernel and AutoGen and how Agent Framework is better. The good news is that this is all on GitHub, so it's open source, and in that sense, you can investigate all the things you'd like to know. But maybe first you'll dive into Learn documentation to get an easy introduction. And so when you go to learn.microsoft.com, you'll see that there's a table of content with a quick start guide, a tutorial, user guide, migration, etc. And I was browsing this, and so the user guide contains a section on MCP, and it shows using MCP tools. And as you may know, I work on Learn MCP server, and so I was happy to see that the Python section has a streamable sample of using an MCP server with learn.microsoft.com/API/MCP. The C# version doesn't. The setup is a bit different. It has some additional steps. So I investigated further, and as I said, this all sits on GitHub, and so you can actually go to .NET folder and then samples, getting started MCP, and there you have the Foundry agent hosted MCP option. And so this project, this demo project, shows how to work with a deployment of agent framework solution on Foundry and then reaching out to Learn MCP server. Okay, so that's what happens here. Again, you'll see the same URL. It uses the MCP tool for docs search, right? So you can put a query and then get search results back. And then obviously the language model transforms your question into that query and transforms the search results from the MCP into a decent readable answer. Okay, so there's a prerequisite that you'll need Azure Foundry project endpoint, and I created this upfront. You'll need an AI Foundry deployment and a project. And then when you go to that project, you'll get an endpoint. I can use this endpoint. Don't worry, I'll deploy this straight after recording. So it'll be gone by the time you see this. And so this endpoint is something I use in my when to run this sample. Okay, so what does that mean? So I just have the CS project with a program CS. And when you look at the program CS, it's actually exactly the same as the sample you just saw on GitHub, except for the fact that I've changed the query into something that is recognizable, because this is the demo that I always do. And so when I run this .NET Run, it will use the language model that's on AI Foundry and then reach out to MCP server, get the results, and then give me the answer back in this console app. And this takes a bit of time. It doesn't do the streaming answer, right, which would make more sense to you where you see it build up. But it just responds in one way to create an Azure storage account. Voila. There's the command, there's an explanation, and obviously the reference with learn as the source of this thing. Okay, this is very brief, but I think this may help to get started using Agent Framework and AI Foundry to connect to Learn MCP or any other MCP server that you'd like. Thanks for watching.